Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Lowen Behold podcast. I'm once again joined by my good friend Caleb Crowley. Oh my goodness.
All good, all good.
Um,
Yeah, it's good to be back.
yeah, sorry for the absence the last couple weeks. I've been in St. Louis with the Missouri, volunteering with the Missouri Valley Conference, covering their two tournaments and the first two rounds of March Madness.
Congratulations, it's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. And speaking of March Madness, there's been some crazy stuff going on. I was personally lucky enough to watch that Otega Oweh shot from
Nice.
damn near half court live and got to see that overtime. Do you have any thoughts on everything with March Madness
So
this
long
year?
as the Wildcats win it all, I'm happy. First time in the Final Four since 2001. 25 years is long enough. Win it all. I think they're the favorites to win it all, so I'm pretty happy. So
Yeah.
that's so long as I get my team to win it all. I don't really care. Otherwise, it's
Yeah,
fine.
that's fair. Yeah, there's been some crazy stuff. I won't go too deep into it, but that Duke UConn game is one of the best games of my lifetime. Rick Pitino's still the GOAT coach. I don't care what anybody else says, and that it's been one of the most entertaining tournaments I can remember, except for the fact that there are virtually no upsets outside of Iowa. Outside of them, there's been just about nothing. The mid majors all lost first round, and I think that is very, very unfortunate for everybody because I think mid majors winning was always the most exciting part of March Madness, and I think almost everybody in the world would agree with that, though. But moving on,
Outside of the Wildcats winning, but yeah, sure. Yeah.
moving on, Adam Silver not introduced, but offered some new ideas for tanking and how to address it. And there are some very, very negative thoughts on social media. I don't remember exactly what they are off the top of my head, but I remember all of them kind of suck. Almost all of his ideas include playoff teams being added to the lottery and pretty much taking away the ability for bad teams to stay or to get that top pick on a regular basis, which
Yeah.
to me defeats the purpose of the lottery in the first place. The lottery was made so that bad teams would have, or like the lottery system we have is designed so bad teams have the better pick, but also that you can kind of move up if while still being competitive. I don't think Adam Silver quite grasps it.
Um, I I don't think there was anybody in the NBA world who cared about tanking until Vegas betting markets got involved.
Absolutely.
I don't think it matters. I really don't mind tanking. I think you should tank. I
It's
don't think there should even be a lottery. If tanking is such a big deal and you don't want teams fighting to have a chance at number one, embrace it. Like, fans like tanking. Fans like the idea of we have a chance at Cam Boozer or Debansa, right?
Yeah.
Like last year, fans liked the idea of we have a chance at Cooper Flag. And yet,
Victor
you
Wembanyama.
know, yeah, Victor Wembanyama, and yet for some reason, you have these drafts with these generational talents, and the worst teams don't get them. It makes fans less interested in the draft because they feel they're getting screwed over. When Sacramento finds a beautiful way to stay bad every single year, a large part of it is they don't have good draft luck ever. Let them tank. Worst team should just get the best pick. I like the lottery in theory, but if it's such a big deal and no one's happy with it, don't convolute it. Just get rid of it. Let teams tank. Fans like tanking. Only betting sports books don't like it because then they have to actually give people payouts. I don't care. I really don't care.
Yeah, they're absolutely paying Adam Silver a little bit. But yeah, I think when I look at it, the way I see it, there's no alternative or there's no better alternative to getting a good team. Like if you're sitting there year after year after year and you're like, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not winning any playoff series. We're not getting where we want to be. Like you have really two options. One, you have to make one of the greatest trades of all time, which usually comes with a ton of risk on your end. Looking at 2018, the Raptors trading for Kawhi, where they took a ridiculous amount of risk, and it worked out. But
you still lost Kawhi. It worked out, but you lost him, right?
It worked out for 1 year. And then Kawhi left. But what happens if they don't win that championship? What happens if Kawhi Leonard gets hurt in the playoffs? They don't make that playoff run. Like, what happens to that Raptors team?
Mm-hmm.
Would they still be like, yeah, we're they took all the risk because they traded picks as well.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, the other alternative is you trade away your good players for, it's going to suck for a few years, but then we have a chance of being really, 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 really good. And that's far and away the best option that teams have.
Yep.
Because, again, it sucks briefly, but then you get significantly better really quickly.
The one anti-tanking suggestion I genuinely did like, and I really think they should implement, because again, I'm not anti-draft. I'm anti-convoluting it and making it stupid.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of teams cannot, like this same team cannot be in the top 4 2 out of every 3 years, right? Like if you're in it 2 years in a row, you are guaranteed to fall out of it the next year.
Yeah.
Because that allows teams to get benefit out of tanking, but only temporarily. Like if you get a top 4 pick 2 years in a row and you still can't get better than being a bottom 4 team in the NBA, maybe you're a bad scouting department. Well, maybe you just suck.
Look at the Sixers. They were in the top 4, 5 years in a row? They had it was like Nerlens Noel, Jahlil Okafor, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and Markelle Fultz back to back to back to back to back to back, and almost none of them were were good in the NBA longer than Ben Simmons was for a couple of years. Markelle Fultz is a role player, even in his best seasons. Nerlens Noel had a couple good years in Oklahoma City. But it's like everybody else, like Joel Embiid's really the only great player they got. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the Lakers. They were in the top 3. Top 2. They had the second pick 3 years in a row. Spurs had 3 years in a row where it was 1-2-2. So, like, you look at these tanking teams where you flatten the odds lottery teams that are already really, really good are getting the number 1 overall pick right now. Or are already good, rather, is a better way of phrasing it.
Yeah, they're already growing, yeah.
Meanwhile,
like the Wizards, when have they had a first overall pick?
Yeah.
The Kings, when do they get the first overall pick?
You look at even looking at the Pistons right now. They're in my opinion, they just took Oklahoma City last night to overtime with no Cade, Duran, Asar Thompson, no Tobias Harris, no. Actually, they might have had Tobias Harris, but no Duncan Robinson, no Isaiah Stewart. They took Oklahoma City to overtime and could have won that game. They had 1 pick in the top 4. And that was Cade Cunningham, right? So it's if you evaluate your team well, you can do well. And another team, the Wizards have had 1 pick in the top 5, and they're going to be a playoff team next year. I know people are going to clown me for that, but we're looking at a team we're looking at one of the best young cores in the league. That people laugh at that because the Wizards are horrible. They're not playing their young core. They're not playing their 2 top 20 players in the league. They're
putting Trey in the top 20 is crazy work. But
top 25. Top 25. Trey's up there.
Putting him in the top 25 is crazy work, but that's okay.
I'm a little biased, but they're going to be really good next year, and they have the pieces already on the team to hide Trae Young's defense, because outside of Trey Johnson and Bob Carrington, who are both guards, they have elite defenders everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it's
and now granted, like that doesn't have anything necessarily to do with like the lottery or anything now. But yeah, I mean it does show that like teams don't need picks in the top 4 all the time to succeed. You need to hit on picks outside of the top 4.
Yeah, you can find talent later. But what really bothers me is this wasn't an issue when the Sixers had 5 top 4 picks in a row. It wasn't an issue when the Lakers picked second overall 3 years in a row. It wasn't an issue when the Celtics, who were in the playoffs, had top 4 picks every other year. Like it's
because
it wasn't an issue. It wasn't an issue when the Spurs were in the top 2 3 years in a row.
Well, yeah, because DraftKings wasn't in charge of the league yet.
Yeah, it's
like
it's also because
so clearly betting related.
It's also because the teams that are bad now are historically bad and aren't popular. It's not. There's no big team that you're sitting there and you're like, you know what? We know they're gonna make it work because they're really good historically. There's none of those there. Which that thought process is complete crap to begin with because like the Wizards have a good front office. The Lakers and Warriors don't. But for some reason, the Lakers and Warriors are expected to make great moves constantly, and the Wizards are expected to make bad moves constantly. You know, it's a weird thought process, and it's a weird. I don't like how the conversation around it. I think it's silly.
Yeah. We'll see.
I think they need to go back.
Change will come to the lottery, but we'll see.
I think the best thing that can happen is going back to the way it was before they flattened the odds. Like when it was like 28% chance if you're the worst team in the league to get the number 1 pick. Like that makes sense. Like that works. That's in the spirit of a draft lottery. I don't know. It's silly.
Yeah.
But moving on, just because I think we're kind of beating a dead horse because I think every fan agrees with us. It's just Adam Silver doesn't. The WNBA CBA got signed.
Yes.
Which is huge. It brings the minimum to above almost above the full salary cap from what it was before. It's $300,000, I believe, is the minimum now, and the max is
I believe so. Yeah,
is $1.2 million. I think the full salary cap before was like $298,000. It was not a lot.
Yeah, and I'm looking here just try to pull up some of the some of the official lists and stuff, and it seems like they got a lot. I think the players won here. I think this was a win for the players.
Yeah,
which is a win for the league. When players win, the league wins.
Yeah, it's not where they want to be, and it's not where they need to be for the WNBA to be on the same footing as every other league, just about every other league in the world, where it's 50% revenue share. But also, I understand, like, WNBA only recently started making a profit. So they need to... It's baby steps. And this is a giant baby step in the right direction. It's... they're up to, I believe it's 20% revenue share now, which is a giant step in the right direction compared to the 9% it was in the previous CBA. It gives protections towards pregnant players... I'm forgetting her name now. She was traded 3 years ago from the Aces because she got pregnant. I'm forgetting her name and I feel really bad about it. But it's it gives player protections in there, and we're 25 years into the WNBA. So if you were to compare it to where the NBA was at the same point, it was in the 70s where they were also just kind of starting to get player rights figured out. The player union was less than 10 years old, and when the NBA was 25 years old, and they were free agency didn't even exist yet. So they're doing well. They're in a very good spot for how long the league's been around. They're not where it's equal yet to other leagues, but I think they're making a great progress.
Yeah,
and I think
progress is progress. Yeah,
I think 2 or 3 CBAs from now they're going to be where they want to be.
Yeah, I'll be very curious to see how things improve. Also, I saw Connecticut Sun is going back to Houston, or
Yes.
well, a team's going back to Houston. I don't think
It,
Connecticut was there beforehand, but they're
it's
getting the
the
Houston Comets again.
Yeah, the Connecticut Sun is relocating to Houston and gonna rebrand to become the Comets.
Yep. Yep.
And then the expansion draft is here coming up.
Yeah.
I'm a little too
Yeah.
uninformed about the WNBA. I'm planning on fully locking in this year to like really dive deep into it
Yeah.
this summer. Because
I'll be
it's going to be
all in
actually
once Cleveland's
televised.
team comes in.
It's going to be
Yeah.
actually televised. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm planning on locking in this summer, so I'll be a lot more well informed for the next expansion draft. But that's exciting. I think it's Toronto this year, right? And then
I think Toronto this year,
Yeah,
and then
and
next year is
next year,
Portland,
Portland,
maybe in
and
Cleveland.
I think next year's Portland, and then it goes Cleveland, then Detroit.
I know Cleveland's
then
getting a team in
Philadelphia.
27.
Yeah,
Cleveland's getting a team in 27. Yeah.
yeah. I think next year's Cleveland. Is it?
Oh no, they're 2028. Never mind.
Yeah. So they're
2028.
adding a new team
Okay.
like every year until like 2030, 2029.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
So which is great for the league. I think there's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of players at the college level who probably can play in the league, but there's just not roster space available at the moment. So
Yeah.
I think that's great for the league. I think it will bring a lot more play. I think it will bring a lot of growth to the league. I think there are a few massive markets they can take advantage of. Detroit has almost all of the attendance records right now, and they're getting a team back.
Mhm.
So I think it's really good for the league. I think expansion is good for the WNBA, and I think we're going to continue to see that rapid growth that we've seen over the last couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very excited. And speaking of expansion, WNBA is expanding. Took the NBA long enough to admit that they were expanding. I don't know why it was such a big deal. It was like they wanted to drive the price up on the teams.
Yeah,
And then everyone's like, yeah, but we know you're going to Seattle and Vegas. Like, we
Yeah.
already know. Just
I
do
don't
it.
I don't know why. Okay, personally, I think the NBA should value the product on the floor more than it does, because over the last 10 years, and I'm not blaming any one person, but there is some correlation there. Over the last 10 or so years, it seems like the NBA just has cared less and less about the actual product on the floor, because there's been some issues with officiating, especially recently. And granted, it's kind of always been a thing, but it's gotten a lot more blatant. And there's been issues with just players doing dumb stuff on the floor. But then on top of that, there's too much talent in the league right now. There's been too much talent in the league for a while.
Don't tell Tracy McGrady that.
So, yeah, I know Tracy McGrady disagrees, but Tracy McGrady, I won't go too much into him. But it's you look at it historically, when teams score more, when more and more talent comes into the league, offense tends to grow out of control. The way you contain offense is to expand, because it will water down the player pool. So then you're forced to get more defensive minded players, because as you expand the player pool, there becomes less and less great offensive players, or lower percentage rather. And so
For
in order
each
to
team,
get
yeah.
the same impact of player, you have to get defensive players. That's just how it is. Like, you look at the last time offense was this out of control, it was the 1980s. They had what, 22 teams? They expanded,
Something like that,
they
yeah.
added 8 teams in less than 10 years. And then you get probably the two most entertaining decades in NBA history in the 90s and the 2000s, where it was defense was equal to offense.
Yeah.
Right? And I think just about everybody can agree that was just about peak basketball. And then they took away some of the rules to or they they lessened. They added the zone, made it a little bit easier for defenses, slowed the game down a little bit in the 2000s. But then that was kind of counteracted by the pace picking up as the 3-point shot got popularized. But I think what needs to happen is I think they need to expand, add like 6, 7, 8, like maybe even 10 teams. I think they need to rapidly expand again, and add more teams so that some of the great talent that isn't in the league right now can come play in the NBA.
I think starting with the 2 teams initially is fine, and then we'll see. I'd be fine if they end up expanding another 2. I'm just more so excited to see how it goes. I'm happy the Supersonics will be coming back. I know it's not official that that'll be the name, but we all know that'll be the name.
Gonna be the name.
I guess the
They're gonna get
Vegas
the history
team, the
back,
name's
too.
up in the air. They are, which is very cool of OKC to offer that. I think, they should, but it's nice that before, like, there was no debate about it. They never questioned it. They did it. I'm sure maybe they'd be a little more hesitant if they sucked ever since they got to OKC, but they have their own championship. They have MVPs there and everything. It makes sense. But I'm very excited for Seattle. I think it's great to see Seattle getting a team back. Vegas, it makes sense. Like, I personally would be more excited if it was another city, not because I hate Vegas, but because it'd be, it's just more exciting to find out about a different team. Like, the fact it ended up being there was no surprise was kind of like, okay. But Vegas makes sense. It's a growing sports city. Like, it just, every sport's going there. If there's anything the NBA did wrong, they waited too long to go to Vegas because now every other major sports team is there. So that makes me wonder how successful the NBA team will do. But I think it'll do fine.
Yeah.
I wonder how that affects the play-in tournament because right now the play-in tournament final is in Vegas every year. Will that affect it now that you have a team playing there? Will you end up saying, okay,
I think what they
shift,
should do,
but we have years to figure that out.
I think what they should do is have the home team or the better seeded team plays at home. I think that's fair. Or if you want to do like a neutral site, find your next expansion city. Which there's no lack of options. There's Kansas City, Mexico City. Mexico City might not be the best idea for that though.
I still think the Cup final should just be the highlight to All-Star Weekend. No more All-Star game. It sucks. I don't care about it. Just give me the NBA Cup final.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't agree. I think I like the All-Star game.
That's fair.
I do think they can make that part of All-Star Weekend, but also at the same time, I think the players like the All-Star break and just not playing competitively over the All-Star break. So I don't think that's going to happen. But who do you think? What do you think's going to be? How do you think each team approaches the expansion? Because I know like Seattle has a built-in fan base. Vegas does not.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that causes them to approach not just the first couple of years, but even like the expansion draft and who they pick as a coach from day one?
I think Vegas is going to go just basing on the history of how some Vegas teams have done, right? Like the Vegas Golden Knights in NHL, they won, 1 or 2 years into being in the league. The Raiders moved to Vegas. They wanted to be competitive pretty quick. They're not great at all, but they want to be.
They're looking pretty solid for this upcoming season.
Yeah.
They did very well in free agency. Fernando Mendoza. Yeah.
So the way I look at it is like, I think Oakland. I'm sorry, let's think about the Oakland Raiders for a second. I think the Vegas team is going to be aggressive to try to win fast. I think Vegas teams want to win fast because that's how you get excitement in that city. Seattle, I think they're going to be a little bit different. I think they're actually going to kind of ride the coattails of the history first. You're almost going to have like a grand reopening season or two. I think the first season you'll probably get some younger players. I'm not so sure about the coaches because I think that could vary. We might see some coaches retire in that time or other coaches come into the fold. So I haven't really thought about players specifically or coaches at all. But then I think the second year of Seattle's existence, or re-existence, I think we'll see some veteran players sign there. Maybe they go for a lot of cheap players in the draft or expiring contracts in the expansion draft. Let players ride it out. See, just take some big swings here and there on people. And then some veteran players will probably sign inflated contracts to finish their career in Seattle, right? Like, first of all, you could see a Kevin Durant do it. I think I saw a comment from him that he would want to. Yeah. Now, is it possible that, that's like 3 years down the road? Is it possible for some reason Kevin Durant changes his mind? Sure. Gary Payton said it as well because, his dad obviously played there, the OG Gary Payton. So I think you could see some players want to ride out their career in Seattle. I think Seattle's going to be very storybook. I don't think we're going to see championships from Seattle. I think we're going to see great storylines and youth. And then that could end up turning into championships later. I actually really think that Seattle will be a better team than the Vegas team within 5 or 6 years. Just because I think the history of Seattle, like Seattle is so much more of like this is a basketball city because of the Sonics. Players will want to go to Vegas, but we've already seen players do not care as much about big markets as they used to. They want money, they want to win. If Vegas has a way to offer both, players will go there. But if Vegas doesn't, players are more likely to choose Seattle just because of the history.
I think Vegas is going to end up falling into the same kind of loop that other big market teams end up doing, where they just make the big flashy move. And I think it's gonna show itself a little bit in both the expansion draft and coaching. And I think they're gonna make the big flashy move every single time because one, it's Vegas. That's kind of the identity of the city. Two, that's what big market teams do anymore. We see the Knicks go and get Karl-Anthony Towns because he's a big name, not necessarily because he fits what they need. Brooklyn Nets went and got KD, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Ben Simmons. Lakers go for the big name player all the time, even if it doesn't work out, and we can all be like, yeah, that's not going to work out. So I think what's going to happen is I think Seattle is going to take it a little bit more strategically because they know they can afford to be bad and still get that fan base excited.
Yep.
Vegas, I think, has to be flashy, has to make big moves, has to get attention-seeking moves very early. So I think what they're going to do is when the expansion draft starts, I think Seattle is going to get the young, raw prospects. I could see them getting Tijani Salon. I could see them getting other guys are slipping my mind, but I could see them take Jonathan Kuminga. I think would be a good choice for them, where they're getting younger guys with a ton of potential, but haven't really shown it yet, so they don't earn that protection.
Yeah.
And I say
the draft is so far from now.
Tijani Salon, Kuminga won't be in that, but it won't be there. But it's if it were today, like those are two guys I think would be available, and I think those are two guys Seattle would take. Whereas I think Vegas, they'd go for guys like Anthony Davis, who I don't think would be protected today. They would take like the big names that are
for sure. They want to sell seats. They want to sell tickets.
They want to sell tickets. They want to sell jerseys. They want to get big names in their arena.
I kind of think that the Vegas team will wind up the Miami Heat of the West. They will always be in trade rumors. They will always want the big names.
Every year.
If I had to predict one player that we will see play for Vegas, it is Zach LaVine.
Absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I just feel like that's the kind of player that's going to wind up there.
He could still be in that expansion draft. Him and DeRozan, if DeRozan hasn't retired by then.
DeRozan's going to retire by then, I think. Yeah. But no, I definitely see Zach LaVine winds up in Vegas. They're going to be big talk. He won't even be in the expansion draft. They'll just go for a big trade. Like, we're going after Cooper Flagg. I'm just assuming Cooper Flagg will be super, popular by then, right? And like, we're going after Cooper Flagg. Screw Dallas. We're going to get him. And then
except
they don't get Cooper Flagg.
They won't have Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra to back up on when everything backfires.
Yeah, and then it's going to be like, we didn't get him. We want Con Knibbel. We're not going to get him. And it'll be like, we want Wemby. We want Banchero. And then they're going to get Zach LaVine. And it's like,
They're going to be
Hey.
involved. They're going to have their
Yeah.
hand in every pot and walk away with nothing every year.
Yes, I really do not have like I think Vegas will win more than Seattle early on. I just I don't think they're going to
I
be a
think
dynasty.
Seattle, and I think it's going to show up in the coach as well. I think what's going to happen is Sam Cassell has been in coaching rumors for like 5 years now. Every
Yes,
opening,
yeah.
Sam Cassell is a finalist. Every single opening. So I think he gets one of these two jobs. I think Seattle offers it to him. So didn't he play in Seattle for like a year or two, or am I going
Let me
crazy?
double check that for you.
Yeah.
I want to say yes, but I'm kind of stupid.
And I think Vegas is going to try and make a big move. Make
He did not.
Okay. Maybe I'm going crazy. I'm thinking somebody else then. I think Vegas is going to try and make a big move, make a big flashy move, get headlines early. I think they offer Becky Hammon, who she was
That'd
in
be cool.
coaching rumors for years. I think she went to the Aces, right? She
That's where I think it'd be hard. Like she's such
Yeah.
a staple in the W.
yeah
I just think it'd be hard to pull her away.
yeah.
I think Vegas would. I feel Vegas is more likely to go after a big name college coach, right? Like
Yeah, Hurley.
maybe. Yeah, I was about to say maybe they're the one who pulls Hurley away. They're like, "Hey, Lakers, you couldn't do it, and boo boo,"
Yeah.
and there's no Woj to,
Personally,
collude.
if I were to offer a coach, I would offer if I were to go after a college coach, I would go after Rick Pitino, because Rick Pitino has consistently proven that he can go, like Calipari always has talent because he always has NBA caliber players. Everywhere he's been, everywhere he's ever coached, there's always you can always get a guard every year. There's always an NBA caliber guard that's like an all-star caliber player from wherever he's coached every single year that he's been in college. And that like there you always saw the memes of Kentucky guards, right? And now he goes to Arkansas, Darius Acuff. Like there's always an NBA all-star caliber guard under Calipari because he's one of the best recruiters in the country, point blank. Whereas Patino, he doesn't recruit as well. He doesn't always have that high-end talent that you see like Calipari or Coach K have. But he's always, always, always making deep runs, even without that same caliber of talent. So I think Patino...
I don't think the brand of his name is big enough for Vegas to go after him, though. Maybe
I
Seattle might go after him if they want a college coach.
He's such a big...
They're
he's
going
such
after...
a great coach.
We obviously were 3 years away from even the expansion draft. Like,
Yeah.
we could be totally wrong. Just, like, I'm looking at, like, the consistent, like, talk around Vegas is they're really looking for big-name things. You know, they're looking for the Vegas brand. So if they go after a big, like, a college coach, I think it's just going to be the big name, right? It might be a Hurley. It might be someone different. But, you know, again, we are so far away. I don't really have strong predictions or names necessarily. I'm really going more off like the vibes of a Hurley, the vibes of a Zach.
Yeah.
Zach LaVine's the one specific name I'll say, just because it feels like if you want a big star, you end up with Zach LaVine, right? Maybe they get Market in. Who knows what's going on with him by that point? Or maybe they get maybe they get the worst option out of these three and they get Jaren Jackson Jr. I am a certified Triple J hater. Vegas is getting Ja Morant, baby.
Yeah, he's not getting protected in that. He's not getting
Ja Morant or LaMelo Ball. They're getting one of those two. That's what's going to happen.
I think it's going to be Ja. I think Charlotte's going to protect LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, I'm just joking about that. I mean, again, we're so far away.
Yeah,
Who
I
knows?
know.
Like, maybe Ja is like
one guy I think
goated by
could be
then.
in consideration. I saw him live last week or 2 weeks ago. Excuse me. Jay Lucas out of Miami, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be an NBA coach. Assuming he takes the job. Watching how they game plan for Purdue, granted they lost that game, but watching how they approached Purdue defensively, their entire goal was don't let Braden Smith beat us. Let anybody but Braden Smith beat us. And so what they did was, you remember how Dallas approached LeBron of, we are not going to show him the same defensive game. We're not going to show LeBron the same defense two plays in a row. Mm-hmm. They did that, which it takes one, a great coach to do that. Two, a really confident coach to do that. And three, you have to be really, 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 really good with your players. And you have to have players who understand what you're going for. You have to have players who are fully bought into your system there in order to pull that off. And they did that extremely well. That was a far more competitive game than it really should have been. And it worked wonderfully. Braden Smith had, I think, a career high in turnovers. He shot like 3 for 12 or 3 for 15 from the field. He had a horrible game. Granted, Purdue still won because everybody else stepped up, but that was one of the best college coaching performances I've ever seen.
Yeah, fair. I didn't watch the game. I'll be totally honest. I've never been a big college guy.
I was there.
Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
I was sitting there and I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, I will be honest. I will 100% be buying a Seattle Supersonics hat, and I don't know. I'm not huge into buying jerseys, honestly. Usually, I buy them, not from the official NBA store. But I'll definitely have some Seattle merch. That's the one thing I will say. And if Vegas has cool enough branding, I'll probably get something.
The only thing I am scared of for either one of those teams is minimalist. I don't want to see a minimalist jersey. I don't like them in most cases. There are a few that are really awesome. I really like the Jazz purple one. I think that's awesome. But I want to see the retro, like you get like the city, like the
the skyline.
Like it's not quite the skyline, but you get some big
get the
buildings.
Space Needle in there.
Yeah, the Space Needle. I think that would be really cool having that across the chest. Bring that back.
I'm ready for Nike jerseys to go away, is how I feel.
Yeah.
Ever since Nike took over jerseys in the NBA, they've sucked. They're not cool anymore.
I've read that they don't know how to make gold. Because you look at all of the Nike jerseys across all the sports that they make jerseys for, there are no gold jerseys. Like you look at the Saints, they've got like it's like a pastel Saints. Like their jerseys aren't as cool as they were when Drew Brees was there. Right.
Yeah.
You look at
give me Reebok jerseys again, man. They were sick.
Reebok was bought by Adidas, I believe, which is why Adidas.
Well, then give me Adidas.
Yeah.
Give me Adidas. Come on.
You look at. I think the obviously the greatest example of that are the highlighter yellow Lakers jerseys, where they're not gold and everybody hates it. Everybody hates it. Like imagine Luka in those gold jersey, like those Kobe jerseys, like that would be cool as hell. But they just don't do it.
It's just
bring Mitchell and Ness back.
Yes, yeah. I don't mean to belabor the fact I'm a Cavs fan on this, so I apologize. But I do think the Cavaliers are a really good example of the problem with the minimalist jerseys, where they are genuinely a single plain color with the team name or the Script C logo, and then the logo on the shorts, right? You could make jerseys pop so much more, and again, I understand there's other good team examples, but you gave the Jazz already, so I didn't want to belabor what they had before. But just adding trims on collars around the shoulders here, right? There's so much you can do to make a jersey pop without going crazy. And I just feel like Nike's not willing to do that. And I don't like it. I want to see Seattle do something cool. I want to see Vegas do something cool. And I want Nike out. I know I could say I just want Nike to do better jerseys. They've had their chance. I just want Nike gone. And I'm sorry, the city editions this year sucked. I didn't like them.
I think a lot. There have been a few awesome city edition jerseys. The Purple Rain, Minnesota.
Yes,
awesome.
Those were amazing. Yes.
The Cherry Blossom Wizards jerseys were phenomenal.
Those were great. Yep.
There are a few others that come to mind, but I won't go too crazy into it. The Raptors have had fantastic ones every year. Miami Vice was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, if you show me something Prince related, I'm gonna like it. So I'm just super biased for those Minnesota ones.
Yeah, but it's, to me, I think changing the jersey every year, you're taking away a lot of the creative liberty from the main jerseys that the team's gonna wear. You're gonna want to go more minimalist so that you can have the creative for the City Connect, but also not City Connect, the City jerseys. But but the City Connect's baseball, my bad.
You're fine.
And then it also like you're taking away the consistency too. So it's harder for fans to like really buy into a jersey. Um, and then also like bring Christmas jerseys back. Like, come
Yeah.
on. The
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think city jerseys, as cool as they aren't going crazy enough with them. I think because I think you can do way crazier with the courts. I think you could go way crazier with them. But also, a lot of them kind of suck. Um, Granted, some of them have grown on me. I hated the Wizards jersey to start the season. I love it now. So it's
Yeah.
take it or leave it. But also at the same time, like just make better regular jerseys. Go away with the minimalism. Like I want to see some cool jerseys, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not that hard.
Yeah, and I'm not asking for anything wild or out there.
No,
Just
no. Like, but if you're gonna do anything wild, like the city jersey is where you could have done it, but they never did. You had a
yeah.
few that were like out there, like the Warriors had that flower one, which was cool, but like didn't really like nobody really fully was like outside of like San Francisco, Oakland, like nobody was like, oh, that's really cool. Like I felt like they didn't really take any risks with those. They just played it really safe a lot of times, which is why you see like the Barney the dinosaur Raptors jersey like every year as their city jersey, and that's why they're redoing a lot of the really popular ones the last year, and clearly next year as well with the cherry blossom jersey coming back. But it's
These feel like boardroom jerseys, right? Like these are ones that have gone through trial testing, and they're like, all right, which ones have the like? I don't know, man. Like just go crazy.
they're doing it to
Personally,
sell
I
money, or
think
to make money.
yeah, I personally just think jerseys should be designed by local artists. Every city should get a local artist who designs the jerseys.
Bring the gold back. Bring the Laker gold back. That's not
Mm.
this. Since Nike took over, that's not the Lakers, man. It's just not. It's a shame that LeBron's gonna spend 10 years there and never wear gold. I think that is a complete shame on Nike. I think that makes Nike look really bad. I think it makes the NBA look really bad because you have the most iconic jersey in sports, and
I just realized we didn't even plan to talk about jerseys.
no,
We're so off
yeah,
topic.
yeah. We're just well,
Yeah.
it's bad. It's really bad. It's a problem.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Because why do we have some of the most iconic jerseys in all of sports, and we're doing them wrong? Like
Yep.
Celtics green and Lakers yellow, or Lakers gold are some of the most iconic jerseys ever, in any sport, right? The Lakers don't even do gold anymore, which is complete crap. And then when they play each other, they've done yellow, or they've done green versus gold once, and since Nike took over. Why? Why is that? Why?
I don't know.
I have opinions. I have
yeah.
opinions.
Yeah.
But moving on to what we were actually supposed to talk about, award predictions.
But yeah.
That's what we were supposed to be talking about the last 20 minutes. But yeah, I'm thinking just the main like coach of the year, MVP, sixth man of the year, like most improved player, rookie of the year. We don't have to talk about clutch player of the year. We don't have to talk about sportsmanship award.
Yeah.
Like, their awards, nobody really cares about them.
Yeah.
They're just kind of there to make certain players look better.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Clutch Player of the Year has any significance towards Hall of Fame. I just feel like it's such a weird.
Steph Curry won it.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I did not know. I genuinely do not like to see who wins it. Yeah, I mean, predictions. I don't think I really have major like MVP. It's really a toss up now, which is cool that it's a toss up at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll touch on this, so I won't go on a full rant, but I think it's weird that so much the MVP race is done through the media, right? Like it's done through campaigning for yourself. Wembenyama is probably going to win Depoy, And I'll be very frustrated if he does the DPOY and MVP in the same season, because that does feel like that should really be held to such a high standard. Like, you have to, like, you shouldn't be getting that when you're not in your prime. And no disrespect to Wemby, but like, he still has flaws in his game. Like, there's still ways to like punish his offense without even like having a perfect defensive scheme for it, right? He's still a bit of a raw talent. That's fine.
Yeah. Certain players can even take advantage of his defense too, because he's still really thin.
Yeah, which again, I'm not saying Wemby will probably go down as one of the greatest players of all time, but him being at the top of the MVP race does bother me. I'm not trying to be a hater of his. I do not like the MVP award anymore in general. I think last however many years, it seems that the short list of who's allowed to win it is decided before the season starts. I mean, was there really any discussion before the season? It was literally, who's going to win MVP? Is it SGA or Jokic? Or is it the year Wemby does it somehow? Like, that was literally what we discussed at the start of the season on the media, or in the media,
was in there,
and it never changed.
Luka was in there, and then despite phenomenal play from Cade Cunningham and Jaylen Brown, it never really felt like they had a real chance. Granted,
Jaylen Brown should get MVP.
Granted, no Pistons player is ever going to win MVP, because everybody, it's as much as you hear it from people from Detroit versus everyone is very much a real thing. Just having experienced the way that the media treats Detroit.
Yeah. I do genuinely think, like, I don't see a world where Jaylen Brown is not the most deserving of it.
Yeah.
Because it's most valuable, and this was like, they have 50 wins in a gap year. Like, we talked about how Westbrook wins MVP, and yes, he had a lot of triple doubles, right? It was still an imperfect season of his, but he did a great job. You know, he lost his best teammate. Like, why did Jaylen Brown not get that same love? So personally, to me, I actually don't really care who wins MVP most years. It's kind of like, so many years the wrong player wins it. And it's just because the media doesn't really feel like doing their job and actually spending time to vote. I do think Wemby should win DPOY. I think he should.
I do agree with you. I think the wrong player wins it a lot of times. But I actually do think it should go to Wemby, personally.
Okay.
And I'll get to that here in a minute. But I'm gonna touch on something else first. The media votes to push narratives. Like, you look at Jokic should have won 4 MVPs in a row. Jokic was far and away best player in the NBA 4 years in a row. Nuggets were good 4 years in a row. They were contenders. The year he didn't win MVP, they were like, he doesn't have a championship. He won the championship that year. It really that was pushed because people tried pushing narratives that really didn't make a ton of sense. They were like, Joel Embiid's gotten screwed. No, he's only played 60 games every year.
Yeah.
And that year he played 70, which is why voters voted for him. Like, it's why the games played rule is kind of dumb, is because Joel Embiid didn't win MVP in years where he could have won MVP because he didn't play enough games. Mm-hmm. Like, Jokic's first MVP, Joel Embiid would have won that had he played like 10, 15 more games. Like, that's the way it is. Like,
yeah,
games played has always mattered. And taking the games played rule just kind of insinuates that the media is too dumb to vote. Which, granted, they are. They make it narrative based every freaking year because they want to make money making talking points on TV. But it's ridiculous. But to me, I think, getting back on topic, I think Victor Wembanyama is the MVP to me, because I think defense for way too long has gotten no love. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's great. He's a great player. I think the problem is, though, is people are going to be like, well, look at the record. And he's got Chet Holmgren, who is an all-star. You've got one of the 2 deepest teams in the league. They're good, even if SGA doesn't play. Jalen Williams, yeah, he was hurt all year. He played like garbage when he did play. but really they're good even without SGA, right? Which is also kind of what killed Cade Cunningham's MVP chance as well. Is the Pistons have a really good record without him. They're like 9-4 without him, which is really what killed his shot. But Victor Wembanyama, you look at the last 26 games he's played, the Spurs are 25-1. They are plus 25. They are plus 25 point something when he's on the floor. They're bad without him when he sits, and he plays about half their minutes. And then the other thing that I see a lot of people talking about is Victor Wembanyama has less minutes played than LeBron, and it's like, okay, so Wemby is playing almost half the minutes of an all-star and is putting up more minutes, or not more minutes. What's my bad?
You get more points, yeah.
He's putting up better stats than an all-star in less minutes, despite having more games played.
Yeah. I'm not saying I do see a real argument for Wemby. I do.
He's been phenomenal.
To me, it's just
especially the stretch.
It feels weird to give. Yeah. If it weren't for the fact that he's also leading DPOY, I don't think I'd be very bothered. It's the idea that someone who's still very imperfect on both ends of the court, not because he's bad, but because he's young and needs to fill out his frame. The idea that he might do the two, like only Jordan and Giannis have done. LeBron should have in 13, right? Hakeem got MVP and DPOY in the same year?
94, I believe,
Did he?
Yeah.
I might have just totally blanked, yeah.
I believe he won MVP, DPOY, and the championship in the same year, I believe.
That is crazy. I feel horrible if I forgot that because I'm like a huge Hakeem guy and I'm just dumb. Because, he won in 94 and then 2-time DPOY. Let me just check because that's crazy. He did. Yeah. Oh, my God. He did. That's crazy.
Yeah, Hakeem was crazy.
Wow.
He had one of the craziest seasons of all time. That's the most underrated.
I know, that's so crazy.
Far and away the most underrated season in NBA history, by the way.
Yeah, I totally blinked on that right now. I know, I remember hearing that stat now because I have his book, The Dream Book. I have it. I've been reading it recently. Whatever. Hakeem's my number 3 all time, so I just feel like an idiot now. I
don't like, though...
Yeah. I just don't think Wemby's ready yet to be put in that same caliber as Giannis, Jordan, and Hakeem at this stage.
Fair. That's fair, but also at the same time, I think if he deserves the award, he deserves the award. And that's the way I think. I think. Yeah. I know.
But you also he's clearly not the best player in the league. You have Jokic, you have SGA, Jaylen Brown. If Cade was healthy, he might not be. He's probably on. I know he's on the fringe, so I can't remember off the top of my head. But you have a Cade, right? You have Jaylen Brown. You can probably expand the list a little bit more to include some other players, but it's not really worth it.
But
I don't know. I mean, I respect what you're saying.
Yeah,
I get it. I think not yet.
I think his defense is more impactful than a lot of people give him credit for, which is kind of insane to say. Which
is why I think he should be DPOY. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's getting to a point where it's hard for the NBA to advertise his defense without making the NBA look bad because he's that transcendent defensively, despite the fact that he still has flaws. I think if it comes down to it, I think he might struggle in a playoff series against the Pistons because I think they're going to start. I think they'd play through Duren and force him into foul trouble early, because he's not big enough to push back against a guy like Duren, who, let's be real, is probably the most physically imposing guy in the league right now. He's 3 inches taller than Jokic and significantly heavier, or I think heavier, despite the fact that he's got no fat on his body. So I think that's a matchup that might give Wemby some issues, but I don't know if we see that in the playoffs. If Cade's healthy, I think the Pistons do make it, but we'll get back. I can touch on that later. Wemby does have flaws, but also at the same time, he's just that great at what he does. And he's able to sit there and average 23. He's 23, 11, 4, 3-1 in like the least minutes of any All-Star. Like,
yeah.
That's
I think
insane.
he's great.
That's insane. But
I just lean more towards, I think the DPOY makes sense. I don't know about the MVP yet.
And I'll give you that's fair. That's a fair perspective. But also
I know we're kind of running close on time, so I wanted to make sure we get to the other awards.
I'm gonna.
Admittedly, I don't really have a huge opinion on anything beyond Rookie of the Year with this, like Most Improved.
I'm gonna. I think
it should be Nikhil Alexander-Walker. But yeah, go ahead.
But I don't like that the media. I don't like that players have been going to the media, and that's what sways a ton of votes. Is players making big deals in the media. We saw Draymond Green. It went from Defensive Player of the Year went from like, this is a no contest, to Draymond Green goes and is like, I feel I'm Defensive Player of the Year. Then all of a sudden it was like a 50-50 shot. Like, what's up with that?
And last year, like when Mobley won, it was really weird. Like at the end, suddenly people complained, "Why am I not beating Mobley for it?" And then it's just
Mobley.
It just feels unnecessary. Yeah,
Mobley is one of the best defensive players in the year, or in the league. I thought he was point blank the best defender in the league until year 2 Wemby came around, and was Wemby. Keldon Johnson, same thing happened there. He became the favorite over almost immediately after he was like, I feel like I'm Sixth Man of the Year. I don't like that. I feel like yes, players should be able to advocate for themselves, because what the hell are they supposed to say? Like, no, I'm not MVP. Like, if you're in the MVP race, Sixth Man of the Year race, you're supposed to go out there and be like, no, I don't deserve this award. Why would a player do that? But
I did not realize that Keldon was number 1 for Sixth Man of the Year. All of a sudden, I totally missed that.
It was right after he said that he felt he was Sixth Man of the Year. It was granted he's got a good case, but it's like it came immediately after he said that, and I think that's
so
silly.
ridiculous if somehow San Antonio gets 3 awards.
I think the media hops too much on that because.
Sorry.
That's all right. I think the media hops too much on that, and Vegas hops too much on that, because what else are they supposed to say? Are they supposed to say no to that question? Like, all right, that's the end of my tirade. But yeah, Nikhil.
No, you're good. You're good.
Nikhil Alexander-Walker is most improved player.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any debate, especially after Denny Avdia's slowed down significantly since the All-Star break, and he just hasn't looked as good recently. And Nikhil Alexander-Walker had like a 13-point jump. And then jumps everywhere else.
Yeah, I will have to hop off here soon. It is an important call, but it looks like I guess we can wrap on Rookie of the Year if you want, because that is a little bit of a tight case. I won't make a huge case on it. I don't really have an opinion on who I think should win over one another. It is obviously between Cooper Flagg and Con Knippel. I think Flagg's really turned it up after the start to his first like handful of games were iffy, and then he really exploded. Knippel is setting records, so that's a great case. He's more of a breakout option. It's got to be one of them. I'll be happy with either of them. I think both of them have a good enough case.
I think what's going to come down to Cooper Flagg, after he got moved from point guard to his natural power forward position, he's played at an all-star caliber level. That's just the way it is. But those 11, 12 games playing at point guard really diminish his stats. And he's had a couple iffy games here and there, but also he's a rookie, so that's to be expected. I'm fine with either one, but I think what's going to happen is I think Con Knippel's going to get it because games played. I think games played is going to bite Cooper Flagg. Granted, it might go to Cooper Flagg either way because big name and transcendent prospect, but I think Con Knippel deserves it simply because Cooper Flagg's had injuries come up here and there, and I think that's going to hurt him.
Yeah, so long as they're both all rookie, like first team, I'll be happy.
Yeah,
they both just need to get their flowers.
Will Riley should
fair
be
enough.
in there. But,
same with Tyrese Proctor, by the way. Tyrese Proctor.
Hey, Will Riley is actually, I think, second in rookie points per game since the start of February. Start of February. So I think he's going to be on the second team. But anyway, thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Yep, see you next time. Bye.